What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Married at First Sight, you guys. This is going to be season 17, episode number 8, you guys. And this episode was titled Divorce, Prayers, and Spider Scares, you guys. Now, before we jump into this live, you guys, if you guys are watching this live or any videos on this channel, and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor, you guys, and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, you guys, and also by turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss this episode of Married at First Sight, you guys, shall we? All right, you guys. So before I even jump into this review, I will say this episode was rather interesting to say the least, because I was like, some of the scenes in this episode, I was like, ooh, they literally could have kept this, because I was kind of, parts of me was like, what is going on here? I was just like, oh my God, this episode is just, it was all over the place, you guys. It was all over the place. But definitely let me know what you guys thought in the comments section and in the live. Hey, I'm here for the review. I stopped watching this show since Chris and Paige. Now you guys know I didn't watch Married at First Sight when Chris and Paige were on there. So I know a lot of people didn't watch because what happened with her and him. I might go back one day and watch that's their season and see, but I know from what I've heard from other people who review the show that yeah, it wasn't the best season. Give me just a second, you guys. I am still on the clock. So yeah, this episode right here, I was a little pissed off with this episode because, like I said, it was so much stuff, and it was one particular couple that just did it for me. And I'm gonna say them for last in this review, and we'll definitely talk about them as we get to them. But what I want to do is I want to get to the couples who I feel didn't give me a whole lot. And I'm going to say that is Becca and Austin, you guys. So for me, Becca and Austin, um, this episode, I feel like we learned a little bit more about Becca and Austin. Now, what I will say is I can see these two making it to decision day, but then I'd be looking at some things. I'm like, I don't necessarily know if they'll make it to decision day. So we see them. So you guys know they left the honeymoon, so they're now back in Denver, and they're moving into the shared apartments, right? So Becca and Austin were at one point in the episode talking about like what does it look like when they get into the house, like chores and all that kind of stuff. So he says that with his roommate that he takes out the trash and the recyclables, and that hold on, you guys, I'm still on the clock. My boss is sending me a message. He takes out the recyclables, and so he takes out the recyclables. But as far as other stuff, they share the responsibility in the house, and so he also was talking about, I guess with his where he's living at, they're doing something with the what is it? The garage. So he's moved some stuff from the garage into his room. When they got to his house, I mean, I'm somebody who likes caps and hats as much as the next person, but my God, that man had the caps and hats all over the wall. I've never had that many hats in my life. Absolutely not, right? And so at one point, she asked him about his laundry, right? And so she was asking him with laundry, how often does he do his laundry? He said he maybe does his laundry once a month. And I was like, ew, that is so nasty. Once a month. Because she asked him how often does he wash the towels. He said he washes the towels basically on an as needed basis. I was like, that is nasty too. So you mean to tell me you just washing your body with dirty towels every day? Like, or do you have a slew of towels? Because I was just thoroughly confused when he said he washes the towels pretty much on an as needed basis. Like, ew, sir, that's nasty. Like, that's a little nasty. How often do you take a bath? Is the next question that I would have asked. Like, how often do you do that? How often do you bathe? But, he also feels that after decision day with these two, that they probably should move back into their places until their leases are up. And she told him, like, when it comes to my lease, I'm on a month to month basis, so I'm gonna be good. But she said, once your lease is up, how about you, since you have a roommate, you come live with me until we figure out, what we want to do with this, about getting us our own home. I was like, okay, I guess that's fine. I don't know. Let me know how you guys feel about that because I don't know. So then the final scene we have with them, we see Pastor Cal. So Pastor Cal went and sat down with them, right? And it always blows my mind with Pastor Cal how he always wants people to just be just banging it out. And I'm like, Pastor Cal, not everybody wants to have sex when you want them to have sex, right? So he also asked him, had they talked about children? And Becca says yes. Well, not, I guess no. But she says for her, she was always okay with not having biological children. But if her partner wants kids, then she's fine. He says he does want a family. And so Pastor Cal also asked him about religion. And so Becca was initially worried about, religion with him because of the fact that she is someone, I guess, who doesn't necessarily, but I guess she doesn't have like a deep relationship with God. I don't know. So she feels, so people have told her that because of that, she would be going to hell. So she was kind of, worried or just thinking about it when she got paired with, you know, um, what is his name? Austin, right? But listen to what they both were saying about how they feel about spirituality and I guess religion and stuff. It sounds like they kind of align with one another. And so they're fine. We'll see how this plays out with these two. I don't necessarily know, but I'm here for the ride with Beck and Austin. And so we'll go ahead and move on to our next couple, you guys. So next up, you guys, we got Claire and Cameron, right? Now, I've been seeing in my comments about Claire and Austin. Like, I think we all are on the same page when it comes to Claire and Austin. I don't necessarily believe that Claire likes Austin. And with Austin, I don't know. I'm not Austin, but Cameron. With Cameron and Claire, I don't really know if he likes her either. Because it's a weird dynamic with these two. Very weird dynamic. But like I said, with both of them, I get absolutely nothing from them. You guys can tell me what you think. So Claire told him that she's pretty much afraid of scared of the unknown with this relationship. And, you know, for that, I can understand where she's coming from, being afraid of the unknown because this is a virtual stranger that you don't know. And now you're married to him and you're being asked to live with this person. So I get where Claire's coming from in that regards, right? And he says he isn't really nervous because he lived with a girlfriend before. And, it was her family, it was the girlfriend, her whole family. I was like, ooh, now that's an interesting situation. I would love to know how that happened. And I would love to know why that it didn't work out, right? So he told her he's just more so thinking about the fact of the things that he might do that would annoy her. And she says, well, I'll let you know. And then he was like, well, he's okay with, knowing, but he wants to get it to the point where to see how far he can push the envelope, I guess. And I was like, that's not a good thing to do. Like if I'm telling you something that I don't like that you're doing, don't continue to do it to see how far you can get away with it. Like, because I'm going to snap off on you. So no, sir, please and thank you. Do not do that. So we then go to Cameron's apartment, his place where he's staying at, and I was looking at that decor. It was terrible. I was like, who? This looked like something that someone's grandmother lived in. No shade to you, Cameron, but yeah. That place was just a no for me. So then they went to her place and we were introduced to her dog, Lenny. Lenny wasn't paying any attention to Cameron. And so Cameron, he knows that she's religious, but he didn't know that she was, I guess, still involved with her Catholicism, right? And so I guess at this point they're both kind of open to the fact that he's open to the fact that she is religious and she's open to the fact that he's not religious. I don't necessarily know how that's going to bode well in this relationship because, like I said last week, when it comes to finances and when it comes to finances, children, and religion, those are things that you can't really skate by in a relationship, and especially in a marriage. You can't skate by if your partner wants kids and you don't want kids. You can't skate by that because nobody's going to want to compromise. The person who wants kids is not going to be like, oh, since you don't want kids, I'm fine with that. Like, and then the person who doesn't want kids is like, well, you want kids, so maybe we could do this. And then when it comes to finances and even with religion, like those are not things that you can compromise on. So I don't know how these two are going to navigate this process, being it that he is not someone who is religious and she is someone who's religious. So I'm very interested to see where this dynamic goes. I think it's going to burn because again, like I said, I don't really necessarily see that Claire and Cameron are fit for each other. I don't think she likes him, and I don't think he necessarily likes her like that as well. So they got a visit by Dr. Pepper, right? And they're talking about the fact that when it comes down to the relationship, that Claire is moving at a slow speed because she's not really touching him, she's not really being affectionate towards him. Now, I know people say that Claire is cold, right? And I do agree that Claire is a little cold, but the thing is, for me, and I've said this plenty of times when it comes to Married at First Sight, like I just know for me personally that I wouldn't be able to do this process because I don't open up that easily to people. It takes me quite a while to open up to you. And then as far as touching, I'm not someone who's big on physical touch. I really can tell you that I cringe at that. Like I really have to get to know you in order for that to be something that we can do. Because right out the gate, it's not something for me. So I wasn't really, upset at all. And Dr. Pepper's like, well, you could touch him on the shoulder, you can hold hands, you can do this, you can do that, right? And that is true. But again, like I said, if it's not for her, then we can't force it. It's not something that you can force. But eventually, Claire did hold his hand and she said she can do that. And so Dr. Pepper did ask them if had they talked about religion, right? And we found out a little bit more about Cameron, the fact that he grew up Christian, right? But he said something happened in the church, and he brought it to light or something like that, and they kicked him out at 10 years old. And I was like, no, what was going on in the church at for you at 10 years old? Like I was kind of confused by that. I was like, what happened? Like I didn't want him to elaborate, but I was just kind of sitting there like, things that make you go, because I was wondering, like, was it something like really, 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 really bad? That was what I was wondering. But that's it. So he doesn't want to raise his kids like that, but she's like, she hears him, but she's okay. She understands what he's saying, but she's not there with it. And I was like, I don't think this, again, like I said, I don't think this relationship is going to bode well. But again, like I said, you guys feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comment section and in the live chat, and we'll go ahead and move forward, you guys, to the next couple. All right, you guys. Next up, Emily and Brennan, you guys. So, what I will say is in this whole episode, there were two women that I felt so bad for. Emily was one of them, and Lauren was the other one. I felt so bad for Emily in the respects that when they got back to Denver and they went to the shared apartment, you will notice in this whole episode, Brennan was on mute. Like Beyonce say walk around the club, we said everybody on mute. Like that's exactly what Brennan was. He was on mute the entire time. So he asked her at one point, is she going to be working from the apartment? She said yes. And he said, well, if I have an early morning call, then he'll work from here, but he will want to get back home before the traffic gets bad. And I was like, that's not what this whole process is about, that you stay here for filming and then you go back to your place. The process is you guys live together until decision day. But Brennan is the same one who's been saying that divorce is not an option. It's gonna have to be an option with this, because I don't know where this relationship is going to go, and I wanted to end as well, right? I would love for this relationship to just fizzle off. Now we see Brennan, you guys. So later in the episode, hold on, you guys. So later in the episode, you guys, we see him, and the energy with Emily is like really off. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, it was so odd how off that energy was with her. And the way that he was talking to her, it was almost as if it was like pulling teeth to even talk to the woman, because he was giving her nothing. It was just very cold. And I was just like, if I was Emily, I would have just said, you know what? I'm good. Can we just wrap this up? Because he's giving her nothing. And so she also they were talking about moving into the apartment. He's telling her that he's not ready to move into the apartment yet. And I was like, huh? And so at one point in the episode, they met up with Pastor Cal, right? And so Pastor Cal is asking them, are they getting everything that they need out of the relationship? Emily was hesitant to say yes. She was trying to say yes, but there are some things that he could do better. I'm like, no, ma'am, don't do that. Don't downplay this, right? Be honest and say he's not talking to me. He's not communicating with me. He's not doing anything. He hasn't even moved into this apartment yet. Pastor Cal noticed that they hadn't moved into the apartment. So I want her to say it's just like talking to a brick wall with Brennan, because that's literally what Brennan is a complete brick wall. So Brennan says that there is no, since the wedding and the honeymoon, there's no romantic connection with um what's her name? Emily, right? And so he said he wants to he does want to touch her. Excuse me, y'all, but he hasn't. So Pastor Cal asked him, was there something that is keeping him from doing it? Like, are you not attracted to her? And he says that we're not doing that. And I was like, you dummy, you do realize by saying we're not doing that, that you are in fact doing that. When Pastor Cal asked you, are you attracted to her? That is an easy yes or no answer. Not, we're not doing that, because you saying we're not doing that and just solidifies it right there that you have no attraction to Emily. And Emily's a great looking girl. Now, Brendan, on the other hand, I would say you're not the most attractive. I don't want to go that route, but I just did, right? I would like, she's a beautiful girl. Now, with Brendan, you guys can see Brendan on the screen. I like, no, like, we're not gonna sit here and do that. We are not about to do that. And so later after Pastor Cal left, she asked him, like, are you physically attracted to me? And he says, once again, he says he's not, he doesn't want, we're on camera. He's basically trying to play it off is as if, because we're on national television and there are going to be people watching, I don't want to hurt you and say that I'm not physically attracted to you. That's the angle that he's trying to play. And it's complete BS. Like, Brennan, grow a set of balls and just tell the girl, no, I'm not attracted to you. And she said it would not hurt her feelings, but then she broke down crying. I'm like, it wouldn't hurt your feelings, but the fact that he's not telling you, the fact that he's not being forthcoming and honest and saying that, I might not find you physically attractive, that hurts a lot. That hurts more. The not saying it hurts more than actually saying it. And I think it was a coward move. But I want you guys to definitely tell me what you think in the comment section below and in the live chat. and we'll pause here and we'll go ahead and move on to the last couple, you guys, Lauren and Orion. You guys, Lauren and Orion, when I tell you guys this episode, I ain't gonna spend too much time on Lauren and Orion because I was really pissed watching this episode and watching him because he is literally gaslighting the hell out of Lauren. Lauren was able to give you some grace because you said the N word. She didn't even say anything negative to you. You're the one who brought up the negative stereotype against indigenous people. She just laughed when she figured out why you're called with that, that negative stereotype. But you have literally said the N word and you told her you said it. And she's giving you grace, but you can't give her grace in this moment. Like I said, I was so upset watching this episode and watching their scenes because I realized he was playing a game with her the entire time. Like I wanted to jump through the television screen and just knock that smug look off his face, right? So we saw them at the airport, and when they were getting ready to leave to come back to go to the shared apartment, they went to the apartment, but they ended up not staying at the apartment. And so we see later in the episode when Lauren was saying that at the airport, her husband basically, she was saying that he had a change of heart. I was like, Lauren, that man did not have a change of heart. That man is wanting to, he's sticking it to you. And I want you to just say, you know what, Orion, I don't have time for the games. I'm over it and I'm out. I really wanted her to say that, but she didn't. And it's just like, oh my God. Like I felt so bad that she was going down this road with him. Ugh, it just ain't no way. Cause he told her he wanted to do a full reset. I was like, no, he does not want to do a full reset. And I'm gonna tell you guys what I think in just a minute. So, um, at one point, she said that he told her he does want to continue the process, but he doesn't necessarily want to continue the marriage. And at that point, I put two and two together because remember, he lives with his mom. I was like, the only reason why he's doing this is because he wants to stay in that apartment and get out of his mama's place. Like, you ain't fooling nobody, Orion, and you want to get this check. I was like, can we please get an immediate divorce for these two? Because I was just over him. So remember, I told you guys he said he wanted to do a full reset, right? So we find out when they sat down with Dr. Pia that they had texted each other and they were supposed to meet up because Dr. Pia said, have y'all met up since the honeymoon? And she was like, no, we haven't. And he was trying to play it off like, oh, it's just been a scheduling issue. And she's like, no, it's not a scheduling issue. What happened is you asked me what my availability was. I told you what my availability was, and I didn't hear anything back from you until we got here today. And what I will say is I definitely 100% hated the fact that, she was blaming herself and beating herself up about what has happened. And I was like, babe, it is not you. It is him. Let this man go find that man that he said kissed him because I think he liked it. Like, oh, please get Orion off my damn screen. But ultimately, these two got a divorce, and I couldn't be any more happier because I just couldn't sit there. I couldn't continue to sit there and watch him gaslight her. That was just not going to be something that I was going to continue to watch and review. But that's the episode, you guys. Definitely let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comment section below, you guys. And I will talk to you guys in the next one, you guys. As always, you guys, please stay safe. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Be blessed. Wash your hands, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. So, you guys, I got to get back on the clock for another 30 minutes, and I've already recorded the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I just got to edit it, and that'll be up momentarily. And then I will do Real Housewives of Miami and Sisters. So I'll see you guys for those videos. And like I said, I hope you guys have a great one. See you guys later. Bye, guys.